So you really wanted this, huh? You really wanted to continue this series and watch the next episode, huh? You really invested on my music collection, huh? Well, thank you. That's nice. I never really had that many people interested in my music collection. That's very nice. I'm very glad that you care about me and such, you know what I'm saying? So yes, the final part of my tape collection and last episode so far of all the music I have on me. So without further ado, let's get this thing going. But before we do, I have sort of like a interlude before we get into this. Remember my CD collection? How I said that I make my own CDs? Before the CDs, I used to make cassette tapes. So let me show you all the cassette tapes I've made. Basically the same as all the CDs I've made, but this in cassette format. So here they all are, in order. Yes, I made a lot of them. Let's start off with the first one I made. This is the first cassette I made. This was under my Modern Fujit, my group with me and Virtual Shopper. This was our first body of work. We came together and made this little EP. This is inspired by the MF EP with MF Doom and MF Grimm. But I did 3 songs and he did 3 songs. And this is kind of like a demo tape to the world. This is really true enough to really, continue in this genre. And you can really see this is some of the first beats I ever made. And so, on this, so, you could see the progression of me and Virtual Shopper. Then a little later, I came out with my first album. This is my first ever album to the world, showcasing myself as a producer. Then my second album, forgot to mention, first EP came out in 2021, first album came out in 2021, second album came out in 2022. I've already discussed this in my CD collection, but just reiterate for the people who didn't watch that. Second album came out, this is where I'm like, okay, so I'm sort of kind of established. I'll have my friends hop on this and just continue to make music in a different way, because I kind of got bored of the music I made previously, so I was like, I would give myself a challenge, make every single song 1 minute. I know people have done that before, but I was setting a challenge for myself. But with that album, there's some tracks that didn't even make it to the album, so I made a deluxe version that has all the songs that I didn't put on the album, and it's just on here. This is my first ever deluxe release, and it's the first one of what got me into making deluxe releases for my next albums. And no, there'll be no deluxe albums for my most recent album and for the recent Modern Fujit album, because I actually got kind of sick of doing deluxe albums, even though I only done 3 of them. Here's my double album that I was talking to you about. This is the first cassette that I got a colored tape, a colored kind of casing for it, and also it's printed from front to back. This is the first tape I ever did on, and the first tape that has a sticker label. So we were really moving on up in the world when I made this cassette. Double album, this is the first album, and then the other side is the second album. Then after that came out, I made a deluxe version of my first album. I put it on cassette, another one where I got the sticker label. This deluxe album is very, very long. I'm surprised I even got a cassette. I think it's an expensive ass cassette because there's so much tape. But also what happened was that when I got the tape from the manufacturer, I kind of messed up. I think it was a skill issue on my end. And so I had a friend create homemade tapes so I can dub them. So the homie created homemade tapes, and so I dubbed them all myself. And this is one of the test tapes for the deluxe edition of my first album. And then here is a cassette exclusive, Vargo's Park 2. Cassette exclusive, another one where I got the sticker label. Cassette exclusive, you can only listen to this album on tape, and they're still being sold right now. So if you want to hear this album, it's in the description. But the same thing happened, so I made the homie also make me a test press of Vargo's Park so I can dub it, and that's what we did. Then finally, for my latest release, solo release, I made cassettes for them, but there was some kind of controversy that happened a little bit. A lot of the songs I made for that release were made 2 years ago, and so I didn't really understand music how I do now. So a lot of songs were off tempo and I didn't know people listen. And so, but I already put all the songs that were off tempo on this album, and so I had to stop selling this one. And then I did a new, better version on CD. I still have a bunch of these, so I kind of still sell them as the original version. And here's a test press version of this. And so yeah, this is kind of the original cut version of my newest album that you can only get on cassette too. Okay, let's get into other cassettes that are not by me and are way better. Not gonna lie, as you see I have a lot of tapes in my hand, but it's probably not as much as some of my other episodes. So this actually might be the shortest episode out of all my music collection series. So I don't know, maybe to make the video longer, I'll do a little jig at the end. But let's get right into it. With George Clinton computer games. I love Pop Funkadelic. Everybody always knows this. Watch my CD collection, record collection, and George Clinton is one of the people who are from those groups. Probably one of the main figures. He did have a solo career too, which is also very successful as well. This album is very famous because it has Atomic Dog. Everyone knows that song. It plays at every single barbecue. It's just, you know, it's such a classic song, such a classic album, and I really love George Clinton. I love his. I love some of his solo work too, and I would like to collect more of his solo work because I do as well like that, as much as I do like the Pop Funkadelic group projects. Yeah, I got this from the same person on Discogs who gave me the Enjoy cassette, because I guess he owned a record label that printed RX Poppy's Dog Storm, which came out in 2023. He gave me this cassette for free because he was late on shipping it, but I was like, dude, you don't need to. I mean, I waited so long for album to come without, you know, accepting anything else in return. And so it was very, very generous, and I very do appreciate him. Shout out Fendi Vamp on Discogs for giving me a free cassette, even though he really didn't have to. Next is a cassette my dad gave me, because I don't know where he got this. I think he was at the show. They got at the show. I forgot what function he was at, but this is a nice little cassette. I really do like it. You know, it's a nice little homemade cassette, and it's by an indie band. I think an indie punk band that is close to us. I think. I don't know. My dad just one day gave this to me after he went to the show. And, you know, it's just cool to have. Yeah, I don't know too much about the band. I won't listen to this cassette, but by this cassette, they sound really, really nice, and I should keep up with them more and more. Then next, we got Voya Dyers on cassette. It is sealed. I'm not trying to resell it. The only reason why it's sealed because I have it on vinyl. I don't know if I showed that off yet. But I have it on vinyl, so I wasn't bothered opening it. I'm not gonna resell it. I wanted the vinyl and the cassette, just because. I don't know, I wanted to. I like cassettes. I don't know, I just had a feeling that I wanted it on cassette too. I'll probably play it more on vinyl. So I just bought both. I don't usually do that, but some releases I do, and this is one of those examples. But I don't know. Maybe if I really go negative, I might sell it. Then we got a monumental album, Spelling the Turning Wheel. I got it on cassette. I wish I got it on vinyl. Actually, I probably enjoy it more on vinyl. I don't know why, even though it's the same sound. I don't know why. But I got it on cassette. I really wanted it so bad, so I only had enough money for it on cassette, so I bought it on cassette. And I mean, you've already heard all the praise of this album. This is what got me into spelling, and it just influenced me so deeply and dearly. And I love listening to it every single time. It is downright perfect, and spelling is one of the greatest people right now to ever do it. Next we got Funkadelica's Hidden Assemblages. This is another fan of the channel, and I got into Funkadelica because of this project. I bought it when I bought SB DeMoore's first album reissued, because it said like it would get like a bundle of SB DeMoore's and this album, and so this is what got me into Funkadelica. And they're an amazing composer, one of the best modern composers ever. So amazing, so unique, and brings so much to the table. And I ideally suggest everybody to listen to Funkadelica because it's amazing. It's that time again. Are you ready for another round of old hip-hop? One of the most monumental albums for me that changed my life is The Roots' Philadelphia Half-Life. I remember the first time I seen this album, and it changed my brain chemistry. I know I said Pharentology is my favorite Roots album. This is my second. Pharentology and Philadelphia Half-Life are always in competition with my favorite Roots album. But I've always had so many different memories of this. Instrumentation is amazing. The Roots just get better as artists, and I just love everything about it. Next we got E40's Hall of the Game. I wasn't listening to really that much E40 before I got this album cassette. I saw it at Sibling Records, and I was like, hey, it's an E40 cassette for $10. I might as well get it. I've heard E40 such a legend in the game, and this is a nice album. It's like you got me into listening to more E40. And even though this is my favorite E40 album, it got me to listen to others. I still really do like this. This is a nice album. E40's Hall of Game is a nice album, and it got me into E40. Going back to Sibling again, we got Slick Rick Behind Bars. I remember listening to this album the first time, and I absolutely loved it. Probably my favorite Slick Rick album, which is kind of controversial to say, but I don't know. I've been trying to hunt down this album on vinyl for years, and I finally saw it at Sibling for $10, and I was like, steal! 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 And I just took it right then and there. But I didn't steal it, of course, I paid for it. But I'm just so glad I got this. And I've been getting it for years. A lot of great production on this. Psycho Gaze again, doing great raps and all this amazing production. And it's amazing too how he did this while in prison too. So you gotta get extra credit for that. Then my dad also gave this to me because his friend mailed this to him, and it's Method Man's Tikal 2000 Judgment Day. I had not heard this album before I got on cassette, but actually it made me like this album when I got on cassette. You know what I'm saying? I love Method Man. He's probably one of my favorite Wu-Tang members ever. Probably my second favorite or third favorite. He's definitely my top 5 favorite Wu-Tang members. No, I can't say that. Well, I mean, he's definitely in my top 5. Man, top 5 Wu-Tang members. Oh my god. Anyways, I didn't hear that much of this album. I didn't even listen to this album at all before I got it on cassette. But I found a new appreciation for this album when I did. And I need to listen to more Method Man too, because I think I already heard his first album. But there's other Method Man albums I need to listen to. Especially the ones he did with Redman. To conclude our classic hip-hop albums, we got Naughty by Nature, 1993. Got this at Sibling. Another one I got, only $5. Classic hip-hop record for $5. Got me to Naughty by Nature. I had to get it because it was $5 and it played perfectly. Classic album, such a steal, and it got me to Naughty by Nature. We legit in the last handful of cassettes. Ah! Next, I got an album I've been trying to get for years. I love this album, my favorite album of all time. Changed my life. I mean, you can say that about almost every single record I have in my collection. But I'm just saying again, it did. But anyways, I've been trying to hunt down this album for years, but every single time it seems too expensive. I finally got on cassette. It is Prince's 1999. I got this for $10, and it plays perfectly. Biggest steal of my life. Biggest steal of my life, and I'm so grateful because I've been wanting this album for so long, and I finally got it, and I'm just so happy and excited. One of the best albums of all time, you can't deny about that. Prince is one of my favorite artists of all time, influenced me tremendously, and I'm just so glad to have this. Finally have it after hunting it down for years. I know my last collection, I called it my record label, but I don't make records, I only make CDs and tapes. So I should call it my CD and tape label. I made this album. This is Roadman's, well, formerly known as Roadman, now known as Virtual Shoppers. This is his first solo EP called The Flood, and for this special, because this also came out in 2023 as well, even though the album came out in 2021. I think we did a double album, well, double EP actually, I should say. Look at that. Look at, hire me to do your album layouts, because I can do bomb-ass album layouts. But look at, I did the same method as I did for the previous Lenzo release. Double album cover. So we have this side, then if you flip it over to here, you can get the other album, which is the Tsunami. First EP on side A is The Flood, then second EP on side B is the Tsunami, which is specifically made for the cassette. I know released on streaming, but originally it was specifically made for this cassette. And it comes in this really nice blue shell that I had previously for Slimpy.com. Then next I got Mac Miller's Balloonerism, another bootleg cassette. I did not listen to Mac Miller's Balloonerism before I got this on cassette. I saw this at a local record store and I was like, I might as well buy it, you know what I'm saying? I heard anyone on the internet talk about it. And it's very nice. It actually might be competing for my favorite Mac Miller release. It is so unique, so jazzy, so intrinsic, so emotional, so in-depth. It is so experimental. Like, I've never heard Mac Miller like this before. Sort of like, I heard it sort of on Faces, but I think this is made before Faces or after Faces. So, I really like this. This is what I want to hear Mac Miller more as. This is probably my favorite type of Mac Miller music. But yeah, this got me into this album, and this is probably one of my favorite Mac Miller albums now. And I didn't know this before I got on cassette. Don't look at me weird when I announce who's next. But this is Machine Girls, and I think Bonnie Baxter. Oh, I don't know exactly. I'll pull up the correct name of who's in the group. But Machine Girl and this person who made a group called Prolapse. And I know that's yucky. It's a yucky ass name. but it's because it's punk adjacent, and so things are gonna get nasty. This is the first album together, and I think I got restocked on cassette. I was like, fuck yeah! And so I finally got it. I've been wanting a lot of Prolapse releases. Don't take that off. I've been wanting a lot of albums by them for a long time, and so I'm glad I finally got one. It sounds amazing. I love this album, and specifically this is the one that fans listen to the most, and it's a nice listen to. If you want to listen to a mix that'll blow your brains out, then you should listen to this. Another album I've been trying to get for so long, and that the record label restocked recently, is Open Mike Eagle and Paul White's Hella Personal Film Festival. I've been trying to get this for so long. At first I didn't like this album, but over years I continue to actually enjoy this album. And so I'm so sad because it's hard to get, because it is sort of rare. But when Mellow Music restocked it, I was like, I'm snatching this immediately off your hands. There's no way you're getting away of me getting this. I'm handing you the money. I'm the one handing you the money. So why are you refusing me to get this cassette? So glad I finally got this. I really enjoyed this. Open Mike Eagle, like I said, is one of my favorite rappers of all time, top 5, and I'm not even joking. You wouldn't have Snumpy if there wasn't any Open Mike Eagle. Like I said before, they've opened up so many levels of just like, you know, this is how I approach music and what I can do in music, and this is what I talk about. So I hella appreciate them for their hella music. So these are the last 3 cassettes that I'm going to show you, and they all have one thing in common. They all come out this year. We got Gangrene, Heads I Win, Tails You Lose. This is like an all-star producer duo. We got The Alchemist and Oh No, which is I think Madlib's brother. Amazing duo. They have made music before, but now The Alchemist has kind of blown up recently. They kind of have a resurgence because people didn't know they even had a group. I didn't even know they even had a group before this album came out. Amazing album, amazing features, amazing production. They Wolf is amazing. I loved it the first time I listened to it. And probably one of my favorite albums this year. You know what I'm saying? I love it when 2 producer legends come together and make something amazing. This is probably my favorite album of the year, but it's only been like halfway through the year so far, and so it can always change, but it's gonna be really hard precedent. No, actually no. My favorite album of the year was Kamasi Washington's album, but it's my second favorite album of the year, which is Cavalier's Different Type Time. Now I've known Cavalier for a long time with his collaborations with Quilly and Denmark Vesey. But this is the one that put me and a lot of people on the Cavalier. Executive produced by Quilly, so you already know this is gonna be the shit. Can I get that glare off? Can you get the fucking glare off? You need to see this album. Cavalier is such an amazing rapper on this. This is like so amazing. The instrumentation is amazing, the production is amazing, lyricism is amazing, the wordplay is amazing. I love every moment on this album. I'm so glad I have this. I'm so glad to have this. This is like one of the albums in recent time I can think that will become a classic over time. And I'm so excited to hear what Cavalier cooks up next. Because if this is what he's cooking right now, you know, what next does he have in store? But honestly, my second favorite album of the year, and I love this so much. I love this. This is my personal favorite album of the year. Well, here we are. Here's the last cassette of this video that will conclude my music collection until I update it maybe a year from now or a couple months from now. You'll see. No Worries new album. Why Lord? This is Anderson .Paak and Knowledge. I'm gonna be so real. I'm gonna be the realest of Ben. I have not listened to the first No Worries album, which I know. Don't kill me. Hold on. The only reason I got this album because it was $5 on Stone Stone. I was like, that's a steal. No cassette nowadays is $5. So I got it and I listened to it. And it was so cool because they released the physical versions a week before the digital album came out. And so it's like I get to have like a little listening party before, you know, everyone else, before the rest of the world does. Other than having that Dave Chappelle feature, I think this is a very nice album. Everyone does such a great job on this. And it's a really nice album to just relax to. I remember listening to this album for the first time on cassette. I was in my room, just like relaxing, the sun was shining, there was a cool air, cool breeze, and just like, so peaceful. Amazing album, and I still haven't listened to the first album, and I really need to listen to the first album, but if this is any means of like a introduction to them, then this is such an amazing introduction. Well, I guess I lied. This is probably the exact same as my previous videos, because by the time I'm recording this, it says 30 minutes, so I lied, but I don't know, you can't predict everything. That's it. That is all the music in my collection. You made it. What is this, like, what? 10 videos almost, 10 or 9 videos, 10 or 9 videos. You made it. You sat through each and every single one of my videos and watched my whole collection as it unfolded. That's like what, 300 plus items? So congratulations. I know these videos aren't the most exciting or interacting. They're just me in a room talking in my normal cadence while showing off albums, but you did it. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you, and I really thank you, because, you know, I don't really get to talk to people about music this often, so having somebody listen to me talk about music, even though each album I gave like a bare minimum, because this video would be too long if I rambled on about each album. But just thank you for listening to me and showing up and looking at me showing off my collection. Very nice. And I'll update y'all when I have a decent amount of more albums for a video. So, with that, I will see each and every single one of you in the next video. Peace. Hey, only people stuck around for the whole series, y'all only saw that. Don't tell that to anybody.